to say is, drizzle, drizzle.
Cursed be the ground for our sake. Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for us. For out of the ground we were taken, for the dust we are. And to the dust we shall return.
You can't win. You can't win. You can't break even, and you can't get out of the game. People keep saying things are gonna change, but they look just like they stay the same. You're getting way over your head, and you only got yourself to blame. You can't win, child. Can't break even. Can't get out of the game. Yeah. I'm done. I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
All right, you dusty Jermaines. I'm back in. Took a little time off yesterday, even though I put up a video. And this is why doing domestic politics is like poking your eye out with a pencil, okay? Because it's a headache. But we're here, and this kind of crap, man, that goes, this kind of propaganda that gets thrown about, is the reason why I stopped liking to doing domestic politics, because people get emotionally attached to shit. Okay, whereas with global politics, basically you can't get attached to it, because 9 times out of 10 you talk about a country that you don't live in. Okay, but when I liken, and I think I heard this on today on Fault Lines, right, on Jamal Thomas's channel, right? This rah-rah stuff, man, this blue versus red shit, this is like a sporting event. And the politics during election years is like a sporting event. People have no idea what they're talking about because they don't coach, they don't play. They don't get into the nitty-gritty of how the sport works. They just observe and they cheer. That's what we have right now. So we're gonna do a little thing, but with Project 2025. Come on, welcome some people. I'm gonna start with a couple of things, and then we might pull up the document, and we're gonna see what problems people have with the document. Okay, since they claim that this is such a threat to democracy, and I've gone back and forth with a particular person, in the comment section, and about reading the document. Right, you complain about it, but you haven't read it. But you haven't read it either. But I'm not complaining about it, and I've said that I don't like really talking about documents that I haven't read. That's just me. Okay, I'm not going to complain about something I have not even looked at, just because it's of something somebody says about it. Okay, that's just me. That's the way I run my channel. Anyway, let me get started. I'm listening. What's going on? He's number one. Okay. Now, Adric, I put this up hours in advance, and you're second. Come on, man. Come on, Adric, you gotta do better. Black man, you gotta do better. CBP film. What's going on? Okay. I'm glad to see Trump supporting blacks. Are ready. Ready for what? I don't go. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. Maybe I'm too old, and maybe I've been through this too much. I don't see the messianic attachment that people have to a president. Even Barack Obama, I wasn't attached to in the same way. Okay, I wanted him because of the symbolism of he was black, but I didn't believe in Barack Obama. And I got that from other people, but I didn't believe in it. Okay, I didn't. I don't believe in a president. Maybe that's just me. That's the black pill in me. Free agent Triple OG, what's going on? Prince, what's going on? Rain Lab. What I'm curious about is why are you supporting Trump? Okay, I mean, do you really know enough about him to really support him like that? Inspired Truth, what's going on? John Smith, ABGS, it's sad that you have to go over the Project 25 to try to calm these cowardly ninjas. Even those kids during the 1963 Birmingham March had more courage than many. They do. Well, that's the problem. Sometimes I have to believe with the pro-blacks, man. They said black folks haven't suffered enough. Okay, maybe that's true. What's going on, AL? Supreme Pivot, what's happening? You believe? I'll play one for you if you're still here. Okay.
What's up, boss? You believe that? You hold on. Oh no. Do you believe in that? Huh? Oh no. Ah! Oh no. Come on. Do you believe?
What's going on, Eddie? Barry Little, what's happening? DJ Scan, what's going on? Barry Little says a BGS adult in the room tax nothing but the facts, ma'am. Collection plate drop. I heard that. Hurricane Greg, what's up? Geechee man, what's going on, Maestro? Uh, Maestro, if you got a cash app, I would like to donate to you for the drops, man. So if you got one, email it to me, and I will compensate you, sir. A little something for the till. What's up? What's going on, Charles? In Dust We Trust, what's going on? And I believe Ilias, what's going on? Babu, Little Rock, what's going on? I dodged the trap. I did not dodge the trap, sir. That's how come I was paying child support for so many years. I didn't dodge the trap. Fernando, what's going on? Sheila E, what's going on? Juice, Spain Man, Toya, my little grammar Nazi. DM, what's going on? I got your email. I did get your email. Afro National, what's going on? JB, Titan Blooded, what's happening? Lavers, what's going on? Will all you non-readers stop having BGS do your homework? That's basically what they're trying to do. They're trying to get me to bully me into reading and breaking down the document form. That's what I'm getting. Because I asked them, did you read it? But you keep bugging me about it because you don't want to read it. I don't blame you for not wanting to read it because I really don't want to read it either. Because I read maybe 30 pages and then I scanned like 300. And I know when you scan, you have to find something interesting. I would stop and read a couple pages. And man, I said, man, I know why I get tired of this shit, man. It's basically it's political propaganda. It's really what it is. It'll always be Jermaine's fault. Chef Mike, what's going on? Y'all remember Salt Bay? Well, call me Chief Dusty. Lobster roll. Oh, I hate you. I hate you. With Green Goddess aioli on the menu tonight. Did I tell you I hate you, Chef? Did I tell you I hate you? Let me remind you. I hate you, Chef. Lobster rolls with green God. Oh man. Anyway, Mr. Donnie Mac. Hey, Chef, what do you think about the that series going around that white people are raving about called The Bear about that restaurant? What do you think about that? I mean, it's winning Emmys. It's supposed to be winning like a whole bunch of Emmys. Red Pill Sleeper, what's going on? Sidereal, what's going on? I can't be the only one that sings to these two intros. Reverend Bless, what's going on? Afro National, what's going on? It okay. Question: Is Project 25 a mixtape, a complete album? Also, who is producing it? Kanye, Neptune's, Metro Booming. Probably be Eminem, more likely. Will there be a subliminal diss track, or the Democrats are actually running the diss track, or will it be direct, a la Tupac's "Hit 'Em Up"? I want to know before I invest. Very cool. I said, Bureau Hammer, Dusty PhD, what's going on? Ray, what's going on? KMS, I wanted to ask a ridiculous question about Project 2025 before the real silly questions has to come through. I don't get what all the kerfuffle is about this, man. They're riling people up. Honestly, black men, we got to quit guessing that that USA government got for what USA government got for black men. We haven't even thought about. Even black women can't count. Okay, I don't know what that is. Eric Dedman, what's going on? Trump will save us. Security slams black women. Okay. Okay. Well, that wouldn't be the first time a security guy slams a black woman. So because people like to do a cult of personality between leaders, presidents are basically celebrities now. Yes, they are. Trump 2024. There we go. I think that's all uh, but written in now. It's all like Sauchi says, finito. J Mar, what's going on? Kadish, what's going on? All Star G, what's going on? Willie R, what's going on? I said I read the overview which you read live. I disagree with you on some things. I read about 500 pages where they talk about DEI and all that. Okay, you read 500 pages. Okay. See, he actually read. Okay. Mostly most of this stuff is go really back. It's really a libertarian document, okay, for the most part. It's not a fascist document. It actually goes back way back to that's why they talk about the founding fathers and the Constitution. Same thing that the South Carolina did both times when they tried to secede. The same shit. Uh, about freedom and taxes and representation and individual freedom. That same kind of shit. It's basically the Southern strategy, which is somebody actually said it was actually the Southern strategy awoken. Simeon, what's going on? But I'll have a minute there for you to come up and we can actually talk about it, about my opening, and see what you disagreed with. Cloud with TJ, what's going on? Roddy, what's going on, man? What's happening? If Joe Biden had a diss track called "Who Shot You?" Oh, I got one, man. I have something for you guys, man. It's hilarious. In fact, I think it was I think uh, AB found it for me. Now the American expat, what's going on? Victor Creed, Jamar Reed, what's going on? Ninja Person, what's happening? Brother John, CPP Film said, allow me to clarify. I was reading around page 500. Okay. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, man, you better than I am. Read 500 pages, man. I scanned. I saw the DEI stuff. Okay, some things I agree with. Something for as far as black people, I disagree with some other things. But thing is, um, they disagree with it as far as their women getting jobs. It's not about us. Okay, so the bear is worth watching. Okay, because I'm trying to. They saying how great it is, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, ugh. But if it's worth watching, I'll take your word for it because it's like the third season and they've been touting it, and like I said, it's winning Emmys, so that's why I asked you. Stay in my lane because there's no traffic. I heard that, but let me play this. Let me start off with this. I want to play a couple of videos for you guys before I actually get into the meat. Okay. One is hilarious. Okay, that's why I'm gonna play it for you guys. Right. One is fucking hilarious. Let me find it real quick. You guys will crack up over this one, and then we're going to play something from the Wall Street Journal about Project 2025. But this was hilarious, so I had to play this one. You guys are going to love this one, right?
Many men like all the men wish death upon me.
blood in my eye, dog, and I can't see. The president is what I'm destined to be, but Democrats trying to take my life away. Put a hole in my ear, now you gon' see. Put a call into all my security. Better watch how you talk when you talk about have mercy on me. These pussy Democrats put money on my head. Go get your refund, motherfucker, cause I ain't dead. I'm the orange in the fruit bowl that ain't been found. I'm the Republican king, and I ain't been crowned. When I rally, something special happens every time. I'm the greatest, something like America in its prime. I rip the concrete jungle, I ain't never been humble. Fist raised high, cause I stay ready to rumble.
I had to play that one, man, because I cracked up, man. I fell out my chair when I saw this shit. I said, because that's something he would actually do. That is something he would actually do. I cracked up, man, when I saw this the first time. So this is Bill Clinton repackaged. No, I think him and 50 actually know each other. So this is something he would do on his own. Okay. He used to hang out with rappers and shit like that in the 80s. So, in fact, he knows a lot of them. So, let's get down to the actual bullshit, okay? That's a lot of men. Man, I thought it was hilarious, man. I thought it was hilarious. Okay, now this is from the WSJ Wall Street Journal. And this is their take on Project 2025. Okay, it's about, speed it up a little, about 10 minutes or so. Speed it up just a tad, and it's probably it's probably one of the better overviews that talks about the main talking points. Okay, I said if Trump gets back in office, he will have all the leaders of HBCUs back up there to take pictures again. He probably will. Okay. And he get your money back because I ain't dead. Man, I fell out my chair when I heard that shit. Anyhow, let's get to this one. All right.
2025. Its pages offer new administrations a blueprint for executing a right-wing agenda, from purging the government of thousands of civil servants to dismantling the Department of Education.
We do have to initiate the largest mass deportation project in the history of this country.
Former President Donald Trump has distanced himself from Project 2025, but Democrats aren't buying it.
Project 2025 would roll back our fundamental freedoms, undermine our democracy, and gut checks and balances.
It's actually bullshit, but you know.
Here's a closer look at the four main pillars of this radical plan and how they could transform the American government as we know it.
One of the things that's interesting about Project 2025 is the tone. You hear the term woke mentioned dozens of times, radical mentioned dozens of times. It's a remarkably
only dozens of times, okay, in a 900-page document, okay. In fact, most of the wokeism was actually in the talk about wokeism was actually in the forward, in the introduction. He talk about wokeism and radical and all this kind of other kind of crap, man, in the forward. Well, really within the first, I would say, 10 pages.
Driven by culture war politics.
Project 2025 is designed as a government in waiting if Trump or any conservative president returns to office. It's the brainchild of the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank and lobbying group that has helped staff Republican administrations since the Reagan era.
We cover literally every public policy issue in Project 2025, from domestic policy to foreign policy.
Kevin Roberts is the president of the Heritage Foundation and one of the driving forces behind the project.
All Project 2025 is trying to do is to be a corrective to the liberal nonsense that has been so insidious inside the executive branch for the last half century.
The Heritage Foundation says Project 2025 is backed by more than 100 conservative organizations and a $22 million budget.
So I think the size, scale, and sophistication of Project 2025 is unprecedented.
The project has four main pillars: a policy plan.
Actually, they said the one that they wrote for Reagan was actually bigger, 2,000 pages, and 20 volumes. So it's not unprecedented. That's actually a lie. This is much smaller, much smaller. Yeah, Trump has his own agenda. That's true.
a personnel database, an online academy, and a playbook for the president's first 180 days in office.
We can be ready to hit the ground running on day one of the next administration.
The first pillar is a policy agenda that focuses on dismantling the so-called administrative state, or what some conservatives call the deep state.
Either the deep state
The deep state is not the administrative state. The deep state is actually the security state. Okay, that's what they mean by the deep state. Okay, that's the administrative state is not the deep state.
destroys America, or we destroy the deep state.
For Project 2025, dismantling the administrative state means purging the civil workforce of tens of thousands of federal employees and replacing them with conservative pre-vetted picks.
There is a concentration not just of power, but a concentration of radical leftist ideology in these employees. Hopefully, we will see over the next 10 to 20 years the elimination of entire cabinet departments.
The plan would dismantle the Department of Homeland Security, eliminate the Department of Education entirely, and transform the FBI into a political task force that is accountable to the president.
But the leadership of the FBI has been awful and rotten and not transparent for a long time. It is very important that
FBI is supposed to be independent. That's why they set it up that way. Okay, the DOJ is under Donald Trump, but the FBI is actually independent as it's supposed to be. That's why it's a bureau. Okay, had to go through Congress to get rid of it.
that Congress reestablish its purview over the FBI generally, its jurisdiction.
To give a sense of how radical this is, the FBI is an organization that has never been run by a Democrat. And so this is an organization that in its bones is a fairly conservative organization, and where now you have right-wing voices saying that it should be eliminated.
The playbook also outlines a plan to bring many federal agencies, like the Department of Justice, under more direct presidential control.
What Project 2025 articulates is the idea that the president should be the one directing the activities of the Department of Justice, even if that means that the president will not be investigated or that the DOJ will be sent to attack the president's political enemies.
We will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country.
The Heritage Foundation says it wants to ensure that what remains of this whittled down federal bureaucracy is conservative, not just for the next president, but for a long time to come. Pillar 2, personnel database. The Heritage Foundation has already contracted the technology company Oracle to build this database, kind of like a conservative networking platform.
We've recruited Americans all over the country, and so we've had well over 11,000 people who've applied to be considered by the next president and his administration.
Trump really emphasizes loyalty, and you see those practices now being adopted by Project 2025.
In other words, he's already done it. Okay, he's already tried this shit. So, like I said, a lot of stuff has already been tried and failed. Even though it's put in a book, this is a wish list of what they would like to have. Okay, a lot of stuff has already been tried and failed. Even in this, it said Trump did it first. Okay, he tried to do this shit back when he was president the first time, and it failed.
Where you fill out a form that essentially indicates if you are loyal to President Trump or not.
Once they're fully vetted, they can
which is actually illegal. Okay.
Move on to Pillar 3, an online presidential administration academy that would train future bureaucrats in conservative values and governing.
So we want these people who are competent, who have great credentials, to be prepared for the specific job that they will have.
Project 2025 provides detailed policy plans for dozens of government agencies, outlining ways to create de facto abortion bans, slash federal investment in renewable energy, and roll back environmental regulations. Here, you can
basically the Republicans have already said they're not on board with this shit. Okay. In fact, they just, especially with the abortion ban, they said if it's not federal, we don't want to hear it. Go talk to your state legislature.
See several sections dedicated to consolidating U.S. immigration agencies and expanding their power.
Number one, we have to close the border. We do have to initiate the largest mass deportation project in the history of this country.
Bullshit. It's not going to happen. Okay. Bullshit. It's not going to happen. Okay. It didn't happen. Didn't even happen under Trump. It's bullshit because they got to have them here.
12 million people who come in as illegal aliens must be sent back to their native countries.
But how legally sound are these policy proposals, and what would they look like in practice? That's where Pillar 4 comes in, the playbook for the first 180 days of a conservative presidency. A big part of the plan is modeled off of a Trump-era policy called Schedule F.
Schedule F is originally an executive order that Trump signed that would allow him to turn thousands of career civil servants into political appointees that he could then fire if they displeased him in any way, and then have to be more responsive to a president who in the past has shown a willingness to fire people.
In other words, he's already tried it, okay? They're adopting something that he's already tried and didn't work, okay? A lot of this stuff that you're reading, the thing is, when you read it, has it been tried and how practical is it with going through, especially through Congress? Instead of panicking about it, okay, there's some things that is in the purview of a president to actually do, right? Like deporting people, okay, illegal aliens, they're already not supposed to be here. You can't actually deport them. Barack Obama actually deported more people since Eisenhower. I think it's like 6 or 7 million people that Barack Obama actually deported during his tenure. Okay. Um, Biden invited them all back, which he can do, okay, because he's president, okay. Now, can Trump reverse it? You can, but it's going to cost you a hell of a lot of money. And the thing is, it doesn't solve your problem of labor and taxpayers, which is why they're here in the first place, which I doubt that he will do.
For disloyalty rather than for competence.
The Biden administration reversed this order in 2021, but Trump has vowed to bring it back if he is reelected.
First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively.
I think Schedule F is not just possible, but it's certainly an incredible priority of a second Trump administration. The problem with Schedule F is that there is no real limitation to the number of people who could be converted.
Underpinning many of Project 2025's policy proposals is a legal principle called the unitary executive theory. It is based on a clause in the Constitution that says the executive power is vested in the president.
Project 2025 assumption is that the president has something called unitary executive authority. This gives him enormous untested powers to essentially do whatever he wants and reduces the power of Congress to check those powers.
Conservative Supreme Court justices, like Justice Samuel Alito, have signaled support for the unitary executive theory and skepticism of federal agencies.
The current Supreme Court has shown itself to be very open to claims that the president has enormous executive authority and so should.
And the Republicans wouldn't go for it because guess what? What if you elect a Democrat that doesn't have your values? Which is why they wouldn't go for a unitary president like that, okay? Because the right is also afraid of what happens if you get a left president. Because you had one that's similar to that, was called Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Be able to hire and fire people at will.
In July, the Supreme Court granted presidents immunity for any official acts taken while in office. Legal experts say this decision could set the stage for expanding presidential power.
Trump would be looking at a Supreme Court that would be quite sympathetic to his claims that he has extraordinary executive powers, far more than previous presidents, and would allow him to do things that previous Supreme Courts would have checked with other presidents.
Other legal scholars say the unitary executive theory and some of Project 2025's more radical proposals simply aren't realistic.
It will inevitably draw dozens of lawsuits if all of its policies are implemented. So you cannot eliminate an agency without Congress agreeing to that.
We do have to initiate.
Department of Education.
We do have to initiate the
Exactamundo. Let's see.
Constitution that says the executive power is.
The Supreme Court has shown itself to be very open to claims that the president has enormous executive authority and so should be able to hire and fire people at will.
In July, the Supreme Court granted presidents immunity for any official acts taken while in office. Legal experts say this decision could set the stage for expanding presidential power.
Trump would be looking at a Supreme Court that would be quite sympathetic to his claims that he has extraordinary executive powers, far more than previous presidents, and would allow him to do things that previous Supreme Courts would have checked with other presidents.
Other legal scholars say the unitary executive theory and some of Project 2025's more radical proposals simply aren't realistic.
It will inevitably draw dozens of lawsuits if all of its policies are implemented. So you cannot eliminate an agency without Congress agreeing to that. Congress has the power to create agencies and to eliminate agencies unless the Supreme Court suddenly grants new power to the president.
Project 2025 has garnered increased attention on social media.
Project 2025.
Project 2025.
Project 2025.
As Democrats shine a spotlight on its sweeping proposals.
Project 2025 will destroy America. Look it up.
This agenda is a fascist authoritarian dictator's dream. And we know that that is exactly who Donald Trump wants to be.
Democratic Congressman Dan Goldman is part of the Stop Project 2025 task force.
So what we are trying to do is make sure that every American who is going to go to the ballot box on November 5th knows exactly what they will get if Donald Trump wins.
More recently,
which they haven't said anything about, okay? Have you ever seen one of them actually break down the whole document? and prove that Donald Trump was willing to implement this stuff? They haven't.
Trump made moves to distance himself from Project 2025.
Yes.
In a Truth Social post, he said he knew nothing about it, calling some of the proposals ridiculous and abysmal.
Now, you imagine Donald Trump reading a 900-page document.
Goldman says these statements are part of a larger political strategy.
So many of his former top officials are at the head of Project 2025. It is a political calculation that he's making because he recognizes that the American people do not support this extremist agenda.
President Trump is trying to win a presidential campaign, and we understand that he has to make political considerations. Given
And two sides of the same coin talking the same shit, right? It's propaganda.
the millions of dollars that the left has spent attacking Project 2025 because they have nothing else to run on, I wasn't surprised to see President Trump's statement, nor are there any hard feelings.
Back in 2022, Trump spoke to the Heritage Foundation and was direct about its role in crafting future policy.
This is a great group, and they're going to lay the groundwork and detail plans for exactly what our movement will do and what your movement will do when the American people give us a colossal mandate to save America. And that's coming. That's coming.
Trump's own policy platform closely resembles many of Project 2025's proposals, too, from cracking down on immigration to blocking gender-affirming healthcare and stopping a woke.
But he did that before the project. Before the project, okay? He did this before the project because that's what he believes in, okay? And that's what his constituents believe in.
And weaponized government.
Given the persuasiveness of these ideas, the overlap that exists between Trump's stated priorities and the priorities of the project, that will all sort itself out. It really is the conservative playbook, not just for the next year or two, but hopefully for the next generation.
And has been for a very long time. Most of the stuff in here is not new, okay? If you read it, it's not new. The thing is, can it be implemented? Can it get through Congress? A lot of, like 90% of this stuff has to go through Congress. 90% of the stuff that they want has to go through Congress. A president can't do it. Now, if you want to elect a whole Congress to actually implement this stuff, do so. But stop trying to talk about being afraid of this shit. Yeah. Most of it is something that they have been saying for years, okay? And most of it is not that radical. Okay, DEI. I mean, we've been hearing hell in the manosphere. We've been talking about getting rid of some of that gender non-conforming bullshit that they actually talk about. Okay, in the manosphere. Now, some of this stuff needs to stay. Okay. Hell, we talk about Disney, right? The DEI stuff, right? That goes up on the screen. It has nothing to do with black people, which is feminist agenda shit, right? We've actually talked against this stuff. Why are you guys scared of this? Why are you guys scared of this? Anyhow, let's get to the meat. See if I can pull this down real quick. And see, where is it? Where's my flow? I thought I had it. I thought it was there. There it is, right there. Okay. All right, let's see if I can pull it up. Share screen. Window. Here we are. All right. There it is. People are watching too much CNN and MSNBC, and there anything that has anything to do with any kind of conspiracy, they're afraid of, right? It's not conspiracy. This is just a document, okay? That's public. It's not a conspiracy. Now are they hoping to put their agenda forward? Sure. Just like black folks are with reparations, just like feminists trying to put in the feminist agenda, BLM, okay? They propose documents and stuff like that, okay? Nobody says anything when your BLM and Soros gets their girl, aka girl, in the vice presidency, which is Kamala Harris. Nobody talks about that. And has anybody looked at Agenda 47? No. Okay. Have you looked at Agenda 47? I mean, unless you're really good and you're really into looking at these kind of papers, okay? And I will put the link in case. Now, if you're going to come up here, okay, if you're going to come up, that means you have at least looked at the document and you actually have a problem with it and you want to discuss a problem with it. If you have not looked at it and you haven't seen it or read any parts of it, then don't bring your ass up here, okay? Technically, McCarthy tried to do this, but it didn't work. America has become even more liberal, despite America has always been liberal. Okay, in fact, these are libertarians. Okay, these are not fascists. These are libertarians. Okay, making a smaller government is not fascist. Okay, how you gonna run a dictatorship or an authoritarian state when you can't even make them wear fucking masks during COVID? How you gonna make them do that? When they're marching around guns talking about I want to protect my freedoms, how are you going to start a fascist state that way? Okay, that means you don't understand fascism. Anyway, there's the link, and this is the document. Okay, show you the title so you know that this is indeed the document, and I have marked some of this stuff up already. And a guy got mad at me and said, if you can prove that you read it, I'll read it. Okay. And there's a president, a promise to America, and this is the project, right? As I'm scrolling through it, right? See all those names? These are all contributors to the document. Okay, this is it's a mismatch. It's a bunch of policy papers all stuck together. No one a think tank can do all this shit. It's got to be a bunch of them, right? The Presidential Transition Project. Okay. So this is indeed the paper. So if you have not read it, you can come up. If you have not read it,
Whoa! What's up, BGS?
what's up?
It's kind of funny that you mentioned that of how liberal things are. That a lot of shit is not going to get passed because we're so fucking liberal, man.
Because you know what? The first thing Hitler did when he came in, he took away the guns. First thing he did when he came in, took away personal guns. Now imagine trying to do that in the United States.
It'd be a bloody summer.
It'd be a bloody summer, okay?
And it's like, look at COVID.
Mm-hmm.
We're not. First of all, to be fascist, you need military might.
Yes.
You need the military on your side.
Yeah.
Every fascist had the military and the police on their side.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, if you're fascist, you're going to restrict instead of increasing people's rights.
Yeah.
Number three, if you would start, look what Hitler did. When he got into power, he solidified his power as not only as the chancellor, but also as the Führer.
Yeah, as the emperor, yeah.
So he basically became, what's the dude's name? That's the second coming of Bismarck.
Yeah.
And a lot of these policies, yes, you do have great power as the chief executive officer, aka the president, but there's limitations you can do because it's called checks and balances.
Yes.
And people forget that. People need to go to the American government class again and take that shit again, man.
The thing is, people, that's what I was talking to the judge last night, and he was going off about what Trump can do and will do. I said, man, Trump can only do so much, okay, without Congress. I mean, hell, look how long it took to get it in the Affordable Care Act. It took like 15 years.
I mean, think about this right now, right?
Yeah.
What has America traditionally done since Clinton? You made the military smaller.
Yeah, and it's even getting smaller than it was because they can't even recruit people.
So I'm not a PhD, hell, I'm a college dropout. It's like yesterday when people try to tell me when I was talking the cops' perspective of the attempted assassination. Number one, I was on a detail when Obama came to Baltimore. Because how far is Baltimore from DC?
What was it? 38 miles?
Oh, 38, 40, 48.
Yeah.
So of course it's going to be on a stop because that's the cusp of power.
Mm-hmm.
Every manhole was covered. Every manhole was sealed.
Mm-hmm.
Where that guy was, that's where another sniper team was supposed to be.
Even though that's not the subject of today, but go ahead.
But I'm just giving an example.
Real quick.
That would have not been allowed. But
Mm-hmm.
the craziness about it is when people are afraid of shit, but they only get like a third of the story, maybe a fifth.
They don't even get that. They get 1%, and then they run with that.
And think about this.
If flash wave, the link is there. Okay. You don't have to do. If I provide a link, the reason I do a live so you guys can come up and state whatever problem that you have, not type in the chat. Otherwise, I don't have to do a live. Okay. I don't have to do a live to actually answer your question. I can do that in the comment section. Okay. If you really got a problem with it, you got a disagreement. There's a link. Come on up.
BGS, I got to get on you that. Allow me if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Does the military blindly follow the president?
Go ahead.
Do we blindly? Big example.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when they were about to drop nukes?
Mm-hmm.
I forget the time. And they said, no, you got to call the president.
It was 2007. It was the Air Force pilot. Air Force
so
captain.
If they blindly followed orders, remember, you don't, as military personnel, as a police officer, anybody in any paramilitary organization, even security firms like the one I own,
mm-hmm.
If it's illegal, immoral, you don't follow it.
What do you when you swear oath? When you swear into a military organization, you swear to the what? The Constitution.
You
not
swear
not the president.
What did they say in Black Panther, man?
Yeah.
I respect who sits on the throne. It does not. I don't. No respect of persons.
Yes. He's your commander in chief, not your king. Okay.
Meaning, there's a reason why, even though your cabinet is also what? Your advisors.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to be the people to check you and be like, nah, man, this ain't gonna be good. And see, what a lot of people don't understand, he doesn't have the military in the back. No, the military will respect the rank and the person in the position, but they are supposed to be, hey, sir, this is not going to be good. Because if you don't have why do you think one of the many reasons Hillary was not voted in as president is because she did not have the respect of whom?
The military.
Military.
Yeah.
Because of what incident?
Benghazi.
Mm-hmm.
You left. You're the Secretary of State. The State Department is under you, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
You left us high and dry. You knew there was an incoming threat, so nobody's gonna.
And she was on the call with him as he was begging for help. So
exactly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of people in the military is like, look, we want to take care of our families. We don't want to fight unless it's necessary.
Right.
There's no. It's like going to China or South Korea, or excuse me, both Koreas really.
Why are you guys debating in the comment section? I have a link. Okay. Why are you guys debating in the comment section? The document is there. Okay. What problem do you have with this document? I don't care about the Supreme Court thing. What problem do you have with this document? That's why it's here. The rest of the shit I don't care about. All the other side stuff I don't care about. What problem do you have with this document? That's why I'm doing this show. Otherwise, they didn't need to do this show today. Okay. Because trust and believe, this show is not going to get many views. Okay. I can do something much more interesting.
I know it's gonna fly over people's heads, and that's the problem is that, you know, and I've said this many times, BGS. A lot of content creators who talk about shit like this, who have expertise in certain shit. I'm gonna just say it. A lot of niggas are being taken for granted. A lot of niggas are being taken for granted. How many content creators are speaking about this shit openly?
Unless you want to wind up on a list, probably very few.
Yeah.
And here's the fucked up part. They be like, oh, if you keep saying that this is not, I remember T. Ridley just said, well, some of it's not that bad. You know, you want to. It's funny how black men tend to be more leaning moderate to a little bit more conservative, but when it comes to openly saying it, they run around in skivvy under mom's dress. Like there, a lot of this shit. Sometimes you got to go out there to your city hall councils and actually see what the fuck's being passed, or see what they're trying to get across.
Yeah,
some of that shit might actually benefit you, but because you become disenfranchised, because you give up at the first sign of fucking confrontation, they just let it go.
I mean, number 2 should tell you it's not a fascist, right? Dismantle the administrative state and return self-governance to the American people.
That's liberal as fuck.
That's not fascist. That's
not fascist at all. Okay,
that's pretty fucking liberal.
Secure our God-given individual rights to live freely with what our Constitution calls the blessing of liberty. That's not fascist. Okay.
What's that I word again? Put a line under that I word.
On the I word.
The I word. Secure our God-given I word rights.
Yeah.
Put the line under that.
Yes.
Because they lost that.
Individual rights. Okay.
No fascist believes in individual rights.
No, they do not.
No, they do not.
Go to Mussolini. Go to Hitler. Go to anybody. Go to Pol Pot. Go to all these motherfuckers who were legit dictators.
Yeah.
Yeah, BGS, I got a question. You guys do know Donald Trump has an official platform on his website, right? How come y'all not criticizing that? I mean, if you're going to criticize him for something, criticize him what he's actually talking about.
Because it's not about Donald Trump. Okay.
I know.
Yeah. Because they can't attack Donald Trump because there's nothing to attack, right? They have to attack this about a nefarious scheme by right-wing people to use Donald Trump.
Yeah, and like you said, there's a lot of stuff that they put in here is actually old.
Yeah, like the Schedule F, right? Basically, he tried it already. Okay. Remember, the guy was in office for 4 years.
Yeah, they tried to get rid of Obamacare.
Oops. Okay. They tried to change the way civil service actually works. Guess what? Oops, it didn't work. Got to go through Congress to do that shit, and they said it. Okay. If your Congress is woke, okay, how you gonna change shit? Yeah, women want. Yeah, exactly. BJ the lawyer. Okay. Now AB and Charles are up here. Unless everybody else, unless you've read the document, okay. If you read the document, don't come up here, okay. Unless you have a problem with the document itself. That's what this show is for.
You know, I think somebody, maybe you, AB, myself, Dr. T, need to really show you what a real fascist truly is. Just go to 1938. 1939.
Mm-hmm.
Germany.
Yeah,
You
oh
see-
yeah, or Chile was or Chile under Pinochet in the 1970s, or Argentina in 75 with the military junta in Argentina. Okay,
or Cambodia in the 70s.
Cambodia in the 70s, right? Okay, even Vietnam was not democratic. Okay,
Yep.
this was it South Vietnam was not democratic. Okay,
Look at current day China.
yeah, current day China. Thailand has a king. Singapore is not democratic. Korea is not as democratic as you think it is. Okay.
90% of the
Oh yeah,
fucking
especially the north part.
Those are authoritarian countries. Okay, they're not democratic.
90% of the fucking Middle East.
Oh yeah, yeah. Where we buy our oil, yeah.
Wait a minute, Charles. Saudi Arabia is not democratic? No. Who would have ever thought?
Yeah, but we don't call them fascists, do we?
But 98% of the fucking government is ran by their family.
Yeah.
By the way, did women ever get the right to drive? Let me shut up.
How about Mexico? Even though they vote, how many politicians did they kill in Mexico? Like 43.
Colombia with the Medellin cartel in the 80s.
In the 80s, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
When do you have a judge? How many judges were in fucking Pablo Escobar's pocket?
All of them. The ones that were breathing anyway.
The ones that were smart enough to breathe. I mean, when you really look at this, defend our nation's sovereignty, borders, and bounty against global threats.
Can we do that? Well,
that's pretty much in the Constitution anyway.
Yeah.
When the strong could eat the weak. Okay, there's one thing that all people, all folks that are rich in a big country like this are afraid of is popular uprising. There's only so much you can actually take from the regular people. Okay, and they have to convince you to give up your power.
Yep.
They don't take anything from you. You give it up willingly. Okay.
Look at the French Revolution.
Yeah. Well, hell, look at COVID, man. You told people to do something they didn't want to do.
And some of them didn't do it.
And most of them didn't do it. Okay, not some of them. Most of them didn't do it because they didn't want to do it. And people will only do what's in their best interest. Okay, when it's not in their best interest, they'll start changing shit. They always do. Go back and look at the Depression. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And FDR. They were gonna burn the country down. Okay, the rich people, the robber barons, who were actually much worse than they actually are now. Okay, they kowtowed. They were taxed at like 90%. Okay, willingly.
Let's forget about civil rights. The reason why you got civil rights is because how many cities were burning?
About 300. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So there's more riots between 1961 and 1971 than all of American history.
So
yeah, 323 riots.
So when people think that I know people get a lot of things about the boomers. There's some things you're gonna argue with your parents' generation. There's shit that my son, who'll be 17 to 28, is gonna argue about me when he becomes an adult. I get it.
LaShawn, let's put it this way, man. I allow, because these are content creators, I allow them up, right? Okay. The thing is, this panel is supposed to be talk about the document. If you've read it, I said that right up front. Did you read it? Okay. And do you have problems with it? So the Kobe said BGS is like Alec Baldwin from GGR. Coffee is for closers only. You think he's fucking with you. He's not fucking with you. Always be closing. I heard that.
Wait, we're reading the document right now, so if you want to go download it, I mean, since
My thing, that's why I pulled up the document. The document is here. If you have a problem with it, come on up and identify the section you have a problem. We'll look at it. Okay?
Ironically, AB and myself were on a fucking phone call yesterday talking about this shit.
That's colonialism. Name me one free state on the planet, sir. Basically basically laissez-faire liberalism is what the South wanted. Guess we fought a civil war over that. Okay, that ended that shit. Lincoln ended that debate for 150 years. Okay, that shit's over. Same shit that they're asking for. The South asked for the same thing in 1860. Okay, and didn't get it, and paid with blood.
A
Okay,
lot of blood.
a lot of blood.
$700,000 worth.
So
700,000 men worth of blood.
tell me where your idea of liberty exists on the planet. Please do.
Last time I checked, what's the old motto? Give me liberty or what?
Give me death.
Yeah.
That's the American way, right?
People say stuff, okay? People say stuff about colonialism and how this country's actually ran. It's a big ass country. Charles can tell you, okay, you're gonna have to have some kind of police presence and control of a big ass country like this, all right?
Yes.
If you want open lawns and shops that don't have guards in front of them, okay, you're gonna have to have some kind of strict police presence. Keep the society as open as it is. It's not that easy. Go someplace.
Y'all mind if I give people a minute of explaining what it looks like not to have that?
Yeah, go ahead.
How many motherfuckers can afford to have 10 to 20 foot walls in front of their fucking house?
You will afford it. You will build it if you want to have it. Okay, otherwise your shit won't be there when you get back.
Yeah,
Okay?
because here's the crazy part. In the Middle East, those who have it, they had 20-foot walls. They had compounds.
Yeah, that compound.
They have to, otherwise.
Oh yeah, and in the middle, not in the Middle East, but go to Africa, go to Latin America. Okay, go to any place. Go to India. Okay, any place where there's not a heavy police state. Okay, a heavy police presence. Okay.
That police state saved your ass a lot of times. Okay?
The rest of the world does not look like America. Okay.
Okay, can I interject?
Go ahead.
Okay, respect to the panel. I'm in disagreement with this, and what I mean by that is that as according to Project 2025.
Okay, what section? What section are we reading from?
I'm reading from the part about the DOJ. I think it's like 200, something in the 200s.
Page 200.
Yeah, I think it's in the 200s. I'm not exactly sure I can't remember exactly what page. I want to say like 240, something like that.
Okay, what about the DOJ?
Is that he wants to fire the existing DOJ and have a hiring process. This is what I remember reading, having a hiring process based upon their allegiance to him or allegiance to his administration.
And guess what? Guess who has to go through to actually hire some of these people back? It's called advise and consent, right?
Yeah. But he also is in his people are also in control of that process as well.
No, Congress has to advise and consent, right? If Congress allows it, guess what? He can do it.
Exactly. Yep. What I'm saying is that there's a strong possibility that he will have Congress and
then he's not doing anything illegal. That's not fascist.
No, I'm not talking about the legality. I'm speaking about the control issue. You can get control legally. You can get, economic control legally. And that's what I think he's going for. And so it's like
what president doesn't?
What the black one. The black one did.
No, he did. He did. He did.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
No, what I'm saying is he had the entire Republican Party on an obstructionist situation. Donald Trump is not going to have that.
Was he allowed to get the health care, the Obamacare through?
Remember the Obama spying stuff that got buried?
Yeah.
That he turned in. Illegal, that we actually illegally went to the FISA court to actually spy on Donald Trump and other people.
Okay.
Remember that?
They all spy. That's what I'm saying.
And that's called control. That's illegal. How come he didn't get prosecuted for it?
Well, the same reason you're not going to prosecute Donald Trump. You don't prosecute your president.
That means he had to have control of the DOJ and other people that actually do this shit for him, right?
Well.
Right?
Yeah, he had to have some influence, yes.
No, not control, okay? He has the ultimate
Okay.
control. He could
He,
shut it
what?
down.
Okay. He had to have. Yes, he had to have some control.
So
Yeah.
what? So what's different? What's different that Donald Trump is going to do that Obama didn't do already, or Biden?
Is the difference is Donald Trump, like Obama, and if I can just say it like this, Obama kept it government. Donald Trump wants to kick back whatever power and control he has down to the local states. The local states, which is predominantly ran by a certain group of people who have a certain perspective on the value of different lives. That's an issue that I have.
Okay, a value of certain lives. Okay, just say it, man. I
Yeah,
don't know what that
black
means.
life, non-white life. So what I'm saying,
So Illinois, New York, California, Nevada, and all these other states are actually going to all of a sudden start going in on black people.
no, what I'm saying is you listen like 10 states. What I'm saying is the states that are not like that, chances are they are going to have more pushback. But the majority of states are.
Remember doing Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, I remember.
With George Floyd.
Yeah.
Remember, Donald Trump told him that if they didn't prosecute these people illegally killing black folks, the DOJ was actually going to come down on them.
Yeah, but he was forced. He was forced to do that because it was going to cost him. It was going to hurt his election chance.
It might. No matter what it was, guess what he did?
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you this from
it's no different. He was forced to do that.
No, he wasn't for it. No, he was not forced to do it. He had to do that.
I'm going to tell you this from experience, right? Guess who was stricter with the DOJ and law enforcement? Obama or Trump?
You want to know who's even stricter now?
Well, I would say Trump was stricter on DOJ than Obama. Yes.
Let me tell you, an ultimate fascist move that went right by your radar, right? Okay. It's never been done before, right? Okay. Yeah. It's called 30,000 fucking troops during the inauguration, right? That's a show of force.
Mm-hmm.
Was that Trump that did that shit?
That was Biden.
No, because it would have been bad press if Trump would.
So, but Biden did it. Nobody said shit, even though that's a fascist move. Okay.
And what's one of the elements of fascism?
But that was in response to the January 6th.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No, okay. So in other words, you have a problem with Trump, not the document.
No. I have a problem with from what I can see, according to the document, the setting up of no overhead for him.
In other words, there's certain things that he can do because Trump did it. Okay, Reagan did it. Okay, Obama did it. Biden's doing it. Okay. So, but you still have to go through Congress. Is Congress actually going to relinquish all this power?
I believe, this is me just being honest, they were willing to relinquish his power while he was in the first time.
They did.
In the second time, I witnessed more of his appointees and the Supreme Court. I really believe they will.
The Supreme Court has nothing to do with this.
What does the Supreme Court do?
But they can kick it back out to them. They can kick it back out to the judge.
Supreme Court
to replace. If you can fire anybody you want, right? Okay. Get another appointee in. Guess what you have to do? You have to go through Congress to actually consent to hiring these people. Okay.
To confirm them.
They have to approve these people. Okay. Guess what happened his first time around with Congress?
It wasn't approved.
Wasn't approved, even though it was a Republican Congress at the time.
Yes, but it wasn't. It was not in a Republican Congress. It's just he gutted those people.
And guess what? Most Republicans hate Donald Trump's guts.
I know they do, but they're too coward to do anything against him.
No, they did it the first time. What makes you think they won't do it the second time?
Because he's probably going to win the second time.
It doesn't matter about him winning the second time. The thing is, you have no proof that what you think is going to happen is going to happen.
Right.
No, I have no. Wait, you're right. I have no legitimate proof.
Wait.
Let me
ask you a question. What's legitimate proof?
Tangible evidence that he can pull this off.
And that is?
No, The reason that I believe that there is a tangible possibility that he can pull off a lot of this stuff in Project 2025 is because he has replaced the Republican owns bulwark that they had for like their own insulation with his people and the judges.
But these
And
people still got to get elected.
And so he replaced all these congressmen in place in panels. Is that what you're saying?
I'm talking about like governors and
governors have nothing to do with this.
No, but I'm saying they can institute it if, let's say, you go with 0.3 or 4 or whatever when they're talking about kicking it back to the states, basically.
Okay.
Individualize, govern themselves, blase, blase. Well, your governor is in charge of how they like in your state.
How does he get kicked back to the states? Either one or two things: either Supreme Court, okay, very narrow rulings, or the Congress, right?
Yes, and both of those people, both of those entities, are way more conservative than what they were the first time.
Now, prove that.
What do you mean prove it? He appointed about 3 of them.
You can't appoint people to Congress, man.
No, what I'm saying, the people that he support. When I say appoint, I mean, I'm using the wrong word.
Talking about judges.
Yeah, between the judges who the judges and those he have in the Supreme Court, he can just go through Congress. Congress can kick it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court kicks it back to the state like they did with the abortion. Then the states.
Okay, basically, right? Okay, advising consent has been around since the beginning, right? Okay.
Yes.
Congress has not given that up. Okay.
That's part of the checks and balances.
It's checks and balances. Okay. If you want to replace somebody with at these high levels, they have to be approved by Congress. Okay. He can't do that by himself.
Here's one of the fundamental flaws about what people think about it. The president can appoint any goddamn body he wants to a position.
Yes.
Congress has to approve.
Yes.
Now, here's another thing. There are certain things, this is the reason why I say civics and American government, motherfuckers need to take remedials. Certain things are going to be states' issues, such as child custody and child support is a state issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's not federal. When they did abortion is a state issue because every state does not follow the same protocols, right?
Can I insert something, Charles? I'm not trying to cut you off.
No. Let him finish. No, you can't insert anything. Let him finish.
Okay.
And a second, that's part of checks and balances, meaning this is not a federal issue. A federal issue is when you violate civil rights, civil liberties. So when you look at this and you're saying that he's going to do it, here's the question. America is what? A democracy or republic?
America is supposed to be a democracy.
It's a republic.
It's supposed to be a republic, yes.
No, it is a republic.
Okay.
Well. And a republic means what? You have representatives of what the people of your region wants to tell the federal government.
Yes.
So, in other words, people through bigger states are going to get mostly what? A bigger voice. That's why you have more representatives, but you have 2 senators for each state.
Yeah.
Compare Maryland to California. California is going to have way more representatives because they have way more space.
And New York. Yeah.
But they each have the same amount of senators, which is huge.
And so basically, who runs the Senate right now?
Democrats.
Democrats.
Yes, currently. Yes.
Sorry.
Currently. So in other words, who actually has to do advising consent?
It's going to be the Senate. Yeah.
The Senate. Okay. He don't have control of those people.
Not yet, is what I'm saying.
When is he going to have control of the people?
They have the major. What the Senate is like. What 2 years after his presidency? They gotta have a lot of.
That's an if. Okay. That's an if.
That's midterm voting.
That's if it happens that way. If I want hardcore evidence that he can do it right now coming in.
He couldn't put it off coming in the door, but 2 years he could.
Any president could.
but I I don't know how else to say this.
I believe. Just go say it. I believe. Okay.
No. I
No.
think because he's not. He's
No.
he's surrounding himself with
Evidence.
the.
Who? Name me
Let's go
names.
off of. Okay, wait. Okay,
No.
okay. Let's
Name
go
me
off.
names. Name me names.
What's the gentleman who got on live television, the president of the Heritage Foundation, who said if you want a bloodless coup.
I don't care about that. I don't care about that.
But
Evidence that what's in that document can be pulled off by Donald Trump.
And what I'm saying, the
and
evidence.
hold on. And you pointed out this. How is he going to do it?
And what I'm saying is he's not going to do it alone. If your donor,
not about the donors, not about the fucking donors. You talk about the people.
But you need the help of the donors.
Do the donors advise and consent for positions? Do they?
No, they don't.
They don't. Who does?
What you mean? The Senate.
The Senate. Now, name me the people that actually going to go along with Donald Trump's vision of this.
Who's ever willing to take the money?
No. Name me the person.
Well, the people that were there was what's that crazy woman? The twirling woman. I mess up her name. Cinema. She was then Mick. God, what's his name? Gas man, fracking guy. Y'all know who I'm talking about. God, I keep forgetting his Mansion, Cinema.
Yeah. And
they're all up for re-election. We don't even know if they're going to be there next time.
And Mention disagree with a lot of Mention actually hated Trump, but that's beside the point.
He hated him, but he operated almost as a bulwark.
Okay. Give me an example.
And those are Democrats.
Give me an example.
That's what I'm naming.
Give me an example of what he did to actually agree with Donald Trump as a bulwark.
No. As far as like when it came to when it came to the energy, when it came to the energy situation, and Biden was trying to push for more of a non-gas, non-oil energy, and then he stood in the way and stopped the vote.
Okay, but that's been around for a long time. We're talking about Trump changing the DOJ because that's what you talked about.
I know that has not occurred yet.
No. The thing is, you came up here. You said you have a very specific disagreement,
DOJ,
right?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
yes,
with
I
DOJ.
did.
Stick with that. Okay. Who's actually gonna change all these particular people in position? Okay, okay, that's gonna agree to this.
I'm not sure who would.
Exactly.
But I don't even want the opportunity to be.
You don't have a choice, man. It could be any president. It could be this one. Okay. A lot of shit that Biden did, people would actually have railed against 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, I hate Biden. Don't get me wrong.
So what's the difference?
To be honest, it's the fact that I view a Trump presidency as more of a domestic issue.
Basically, so the stuff that's been going on, like the prices in your grocery store and transportation and all this other kind of stuff, is not a domestic issue. People coming across your borders, it's like 10, 12 million immigrants. It's not a domestic issue. Really?
No.
Hold on.
I didn't say it was not.
Okay. Sending $200 billion to Ukraine is not a domestic issue.
Yes, those are no. Yes, they are.
So why is Trump more a domestic issue than this?
No, I view Trump as more of a domestic threat.
A domestic threat, really? Okay. How so?
Only not because of him, but because of what he inspires.
And that is what? How is it a threat? Number one. What are they going to do that's a threat? Say they get everything that they want. What are they going to do that's a threat? What are they going to do?
Find a way to circumvent rights for, most specifically blacks, but for everyone who they feel like is not.
Kids protesting against Gaza, okay, and put on a no-fly list is not circumventing rights.
I'm not listening.
But that doesn't count, does it?
No, it does count. What I'm saying, I strongly do not
suppressing the press, okay, for the last 2 years, it doesn't count, huh?
That's pretty fascist to me.
It counts.
Okay. So what is Donald Trump going to do that's worse than
And see,
what's
that's
already happened?
look. I don't like Biden. I don't even want to vote for Biden.
What? Okay, antecedents. Focus. Okay.
I'm focusing. I'm
What
prefacing because
no, hold on a second. What question did I ask you?
you asked me what are the things you just listed. Are they not fascist? What?
No. What can Donald Trump do that is worse than already has occurred?
We ain't saying it yet.
No. I don't want to hear that. No. You came up here saying it's going to be.
You know what? No.
Democracy.
I'm gonna tell.
No. Hold
I'm gonna tell you.
No. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Did you not come up here that this is a threat to democracy, right? In civil rights, right? That's
yes.
what you said, right? Okay.
Yes.
Now, and he was actually in served for 4 years already, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Now, none of that shit happened.
No.
Okay. But you believe all of a sudden he's just going to become a different person his second term?
I don't know if he's become a different person or whether or not he become a person that has nothing to lose because he doesn't have a third term.
So you know, well, you don't know.
I know. I don't know.
You believe.
I think.
You think. Okay. And we asked you, why do you think this?
And I said because of what he says that he wants to do in the DOJ according to Project 2025.
No. That's what they said. That's not what he said.
Okay. Well, he doesn't talk about it. That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't. The thing is, you talking about what he says he's going to do with Project 2025. He said he's not.
But he lies so much, BGS.
Oh, we have a president that doesn't lie. Oh my God. Hey, Charles, where are my pearls at? Okay.
Wait a minute.
Where
You got a
pearls
politician
at?
that doesn't say a lie once? Oh, wait a minute. I cannot tell a lie. Where's that cherry tree? Oh, we smoked that bitch.
I got something for you, Anastasis, and I love you.
Life's tough. Get a helmet, man.
Oh, come on.
I mean, let's just. I'd rather you just say.
It could have been worse, Anastasis. Could have played this one.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
I mean, I'd rather you just say, I don't like Trump, I'm afraid of Trump, and let's just get that out the way.
No, that's not it. I actually kind of like some things about him. I'm not scared of him.
What is he going to do to actually wreck civil rights and the Constitution? What is he going to do?
Well, he does say often that he wants to scrap it.
No, he doesn't. When he ever said that?
Now come on, he has said that out loud that he should just
he would scrap the Constitution, really.
Yeah.
When? Where?
So I'm gonna scrap the thing that gives him my power.
And so the Democrats are not playing that. They're not playing that clip.
I don't know why they not. Because he said it at his rallies. I watch his rallies sometimes.
I will scrap the Constitution amongst meat eating, red pill, gun toting libertarians, really.
Yeah, there's no way he can pull that off. There's no way.
Exactly. That's why he didn't say it. Okay. That wrap themselves in the flag of the Constitution. I'm gonna scrap the Constitution. Really? Come on, Anastasis. Do better, man.
He said that at a couple rallies.
Oh, really? Go find it for me, sir. I will play it. I will put it up. Go find it for me.
Citizen first.
I'm gonna scrap the Constitution. Okay, really? Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah. You guys are. That's why I don't do domestic politics, man. Yeah. Someone says he's lying now.
I like geopolitics better than I do domestic politics. Well, the thing is with domestic politics is that because it's so like
taste the cherry over that, don't you?
Man, look, it's in front of you all the time. So you be like, man, this is right down the street versus geopolitics.
Okay, John Clark, did I not just play the Wall Street Journal video where it's actually on his site where he says he never heard of 2025? Whether you heard of it or not. Okay? Where are you guys getting this shit from?
But he always say he don't know nobody when stuff comes out.
The thing is not what you believe. What did he say? Okay, he's not a black woman.
Beauty contest. I can't trust black people when
What
it
I'm
comes to
saying
women.
is,
Y'all been around black women too long, man. Y'all talking to talk just like
no. Every time some heat get on him, he never know nobody. He instantly turned into Peter with Jesus. Like, no, I don't know Epstein. I
so.
don't know anybody.
Where has he said he supports Project 2025?
No, he has not said it out loud. No.
But we have somebody. They have somebody that said it. He said he's in support of the Heritage Foundation. He did say that, right? Long
Yes, he
time
did
ago.
say that. The thing is that it's an association. So it's like if you go with the association, then you think, okay, he must support what they're into.
Wait a minute. With that logic, right?
Uh-huh.
With that logic, everybody who voted for civil rights, they should just give them up because we shouldn't really fuck with civil rights because it's getting in the way of progress, right?
Yeah.
Who said that's crazy? What are you talking about?
And
I mean,
and,
that
and,
logic.
we're going to have to close this down in a minute because
Okay.
Dr. T is going to get, it's only supposed to be an hour. And basically, that's why I don't like doing this kind of stuff. Okay.
But you're good at it, BGS. You're good at it. It was a good
No,
skit.
the thing is that I don't want to go round and around about silly stuff, right? I asked you very pointed questions,
Yeah.
right? You had no proof about what was getting ready to go on, right? Okay. That's why there's problems with this document. Most of the stuff cannot be implemented, as they said it in the Wall Street Journal saying. Okay.
No,
Go ahead.
but your average person, right? Your average person does not know if it can or cannot. All they see is a document.
Are we supposed to be
So,
average people here?
no, we're not, BGS. We're not average people. What I'm saying, the reason I got up and tried to and just talked about this one point is because we're not the average people. Yes. However, if you see something that you are not sure whether or not he can or can't do, because he's Teflon, baby, you don't know what he can and can't do.
He was president for 4 years. Past performance, right?
Yeah.
Unless you think Donald Trump is automatically going to have a switch in his head, he's going to become evil all of a sudden.
The thing is because he was so successful with the rolling back the abortion, because that was
he didn't do that.
I know. Listen what I'm saying. Your average person goes, okay, if he was able to do that, then what else can he do?
He didn't do that.
But the average person.
No, I'm not talking about the average, but I'm talking about us here.
Abortion is abortion a federal or state
No,
issue?
you're right. He didn't do that. Obama could have codified it. He did it. So I get
and he didn't get rid of abortion. Okay.
No,
he
didn't
do that. Okay.
Back to the states. I get that.
Back to the states. Okay. And there's only 10 states that actually do it.
Yeah.
Okay. How about the other 40?
40, they don't fool with it.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, be just eat.
What?
The reflex.
Make it make sense this time.
Let me try to make it make sense. The reflex of concern about your own well-being. It kind of invokes that when you see this project that you have no say so in as just a regular American citizen.
If Congress wrote the document, I would be concerned. Okay.
Yeah.
If the administration wrote the document, I'd be concerned, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How many documents float around here written by think tanks and
tons, hundreds,
tons? Okay.
Yeah.
Why is this any different?
Because it's viewed as being attached to a president.
I don't care how it's viewed. Why is this any different?
But I'm telling you that's why it feels different.
Say it again.
I'm telling you that's why it feels
different. Okay.
Yeah.
In other words, there's no logic to it. Okay. Even though the president actually denounced even knowing about it.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything. Because you believe that he still will implement it, right?
But you got to take him at his word that he don't know nothing about it.
What else do you have? I'm asking.
A word of a man that lies all the time, because you got to see them.
What else do you have?
That's all you have.
That's all you got, right? Okay. But you're saying that he will do it. He said that he won't. Okay.
No, I'm not saying he will. Only thing I was saying was that.
But you feel that he will because he feels that's him, right? Even though a lot of stuff that's in the document has been tried already and failed. He's tried to do some of this stuff already and it failed.
Yeah, but then that's what I'm saying. Like, so he tried to do some of this stuff already and failed. Then
So
to
why
turn
is he going to why is he going to succeed this time?
But then to turn around and say, "Oh, no, nothing about it." You know, that's a
They actually patterned some of the document after what he's already tried.
You know what? BGS? The only thing I got to say about this is I got to do a commercial for you.
What's that?
Do you get your voting habits from black women?
That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like.
Do you go to the ballot box with your feelings?
James, we was saying the same thing. BGS, I was thinking too many black men sound like beat ups. Yep, that's what I was thinking the same thing.
Hey,
do
look.
Do you use your feelings when you go to the voting box instead of your logic?
A DNC agent talking points. I'm trying to. I brought you up here to actually say where is it and why do you believe that this stuff will actually be implemented?
And I came up here with my 1 point.
With your 1 point, and guess what? I said, I asked you, what is it, and why do you think it will actually be implemented when it can't be? Okay, he tried that already. It can't be. And would he hand off? Would actually hand off the exact same power to the next president? That's probably going to be a Democrat again.
At BGS, and that's the bottom line because MSNBC said so. Hit the music.
Well, this is the curse of being a master teacher. Is it, we gonna get up here and ask you questions, and it's, you know.
No. You ask me, I give you an answer, but you say but.
I'm supposed to say but.
No. You're supposed to be answering my question because that's what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. Why do you disagree with this? And prove your point.
I thought I was, I'm saying, I thought I might just shoot my shot. See what happens.
Well, you did, but guess what? It was bullshit. All right, y'all. Let me get out of here, man.
Appreciate it, BGS.
All right, no problem. That's why I don't like even reading this shit, because people don't. The thing is, you read it, but do you analyze this stuff? Okay. I think. Okay.
You go off of speculations.
Not even speculation. Hope.
Contact the law offices of fuck you and Grouch.
He was actually in office for 4 years. He's not an unknown quantity. Okay. He's already tried some of this stuff, right? And it failed. Okay.
A lot of processes.
Here's a little secret. Half his cabinet because Congress actually wouldn't approve a lot of these candidates. They have to approve.
Here's a secret about a lot of presidencies.
Yeah.
Most presidents don't get half the shit they say they want it out.
Not even 10%. Okay.
No, there's checks and balances for a reason.
Yes.
People be like, you think the military is just gonna up? No, they're gonna be like, well, you sure you want us to drop a nuke? No, I want to speak to the president himself.
Yeah. In fact, depending on who you believe, there was one almost dropped by a certain country on another certain country. The military actually stopped that shit too. So, a lot of stuff, like the thing with Libya, right? And Obama actually wanted to invade, and guess what? Or Robert Gates told him, "No, sir, not gonna happen." And he resigned right after that. Okay, he said, "No, it's not gonna happen." He had to change his idea about what he could and could not do. Okay.
There are times the military stood up and said, "No, sir, this is not moral.
Not moral.
This is illegal, or it's either illegal or moral."
It's illegal. Yep.
So there are times you can challenge things, even if it's your commander in chief, and be like, "No, sir, this is. You're gonna have to resign it. Yes, I'm willing to do it. I'm not gonna have all them lives on my conscience."
Yeah. In fact, that's why I played the Wall Street Journal thing, right? Because they said most of the stuff cannot be implemented. Okay.
No.
It's a wish list, which is fine. They can put out any kind of policy paper that they want. It's a wish list.
If you can't get motherfuckers to wear masks during COVID, what the fuck do you think in a country where you got 250 million guns, you're gonna, oh hey, I'm your king now? The fuck you are? Like, motherfuckers have revolutions during history for this shit, for lesser shit. You know what? Them motherfuckers got fucking hogs and chickens and shit to eat, and we barely got moldy bread. Yeah, I say it's time for a revolution.
Yeah.
France, anybody?
So the current Republican platform governors, you talking about governors of states, or what are you talking about? Platform governors of what? Came from the Heritage Foundation. Doesn't matter. There's only some certain things that they can do. Okay, otherwise it would have been done already. They don't need Trump if that's the case. Anyhow, let's get out of here. All right, folks, I gotta go.
You need a tap dancing black man for your outro.
You know what I'm gonna end with? I think I'm gonna end with this one because it's hilarious. Because it was funny as hell. Did it pull it up? All right.